seen anything like that.
Wide right.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going to the end zone. The Bears have won. The Bears have won. Oh, my God. You believe in miracles? Yes.
It's the Davey Mac Sports Program, where we talk the sports and other stuff like new beginnings. It's a brand new year, and so that means a fresh start for everyone, which means I'm no longer going to threaten my neighbor with my guns. As long as his trees stay on their goddamn property, then no bloodshed needs to occur. However, if I ever see that oak tree's branches over on my side of the fence again, I'm gonna murder my neighbor and his whole family. Oh. Anyway, Happy New Year. Here's your host.
I mean, wow. Thank you, I guess, Roy Harder. What an introduction for the brand new year of 2023. And that was darker than a lot of us were assuming. You know, New Year's resolutions and things, Roy, are usually, maybe I'll lose 5 pounds. Maybe I'll, smoke a little bit less. Things like that. What was it? You're not going to threaten your neighbor with a gun?
Exactly, David.
And just because his oak tree is hanging over your fence, you did threaten him live on the DMSP just now to murder him and his whole family. A bloodbath.
Only if that oak tree stays on its side of the fence.
What the hell's the guy supposed to handle? How's he supposed to, monitor what the tree does, for Christ's sake? Listen, I could go down the insane Roy Harder vortex. I'm not going to. Our guest is too damn important this evening. We're getting the new year off going strong, Daddy. We are going to have a little fun tonight. We are going to mix it up. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest for this evening's Davey Mac Sports Program, the first one of 2023. It's WWE legend, light heavyweight champion. Put it together for Gillberg.
Hey, Dave, how you doing, brother, man? How you doing?
I am doing fantastically, Mr. Gillberg. You, Dwayne Gill, of course, but we all know him as Gillberg, the wrestling legend. And Roy, Gillberg is, I've having met you both, having hung around you both, having worked with you both. Yeah. Roy Harder is almost the same size as Gillberg, Robert. And let me tell you something. Gillberg can pick up a 300-pound man and put him like this on his damn shoulder, drop the guy on his head, and then turn around and do a spear and knock the guy's boots off his feet. Meanwhile, I've seen Roy Harder take 3 weeks off of the Davey Mac Sports Program after he hit his shin on the coffee table. All right?
That's right, David.
I'm just saying this because after that insane, murderous introduction, I want to give the praise to Gillberg's way because you turned heel on us, and Gillberg's the baby face this evening.
Hey, Dave, not to interrupt you, but I kind of sympathize with him because at my house, I have about an acre yard, and I don't have a tree on it, and I have to spend about $1,000 a year getting leaves removed.
No,
oh, wow. Oh man,
a tree, and man, my neighbor's tree just wipe out my yard.
It's $1,000?
Yeah, well, it's like $300 every time you get them done.
Yeah, spring cleanup.
Moses, you rich guys, you got to get an apartment like me. Look at this. If you get an apartment, you can have the wall of pop culture behind you. And, and this way, when I keep the windows open over here, everyone thinks, look at that psycho. Look at the redheaded psychopath. He's yelling at himself again. And he's taping old pictures of Luke Skywalker on the wall. And the guy's 45.
It looks like Gillberg has his own wall of culture behind him there.
Yeah, baby. Listen, Baltimore Ravens. All right, you know what? It's a sports show. And we've got plenty to talk about. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to do some different things. We might have some marijuana talk because it's legal here in the state of New Jersey, legal in New York, where Roy and Robert are. And quite frankly, we're interested in hear Gillberg's reaction. But the Baltimore Ravens went out there, and I'm not trying to be blunt. They shit the bed.
Right?
They shit the bed. What happened to your team?
Oh my God. I'll tell you what, I'm a season ticket holder. I've never missed a game, been to every game. And that was just another heartbreak, man. I've seen it too many times this year. Too many times.
Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers upset the Ravens last night, 16-13. And because of that, Steelers are 8-8. And Mike Tomlin, if he wins next week, he will have never had a season where he's under 500. It's pretty remarkable. He's been the head coach of that team for like 17, 18 years, and he's never had a season under 500.
Being a Ravens fan, we wanted to be the ones to make him under 500.
That's what I thought.
Do you remember him trying to trip Torrey Smith as he ran a football back?
I remember that very well. He was on the sidelines. That was a near.
He hasn't had a losing season. He'll do whatever it takes. You got to
Yeah, everyone forgot about that Mike Tomlin sideline incident. That was a near catastrophic. Roy, there was a guy who had either interception or fumble recovery, and he was running back.
Kickoff. It was a kickoff.
And he's running past Mike Tomlin on the sidelines, and Tomlin does this thing where he's going to punch the guy. And the guy, like the game is going on.
He was standing, he was running down the sidelines, and he was standing there, and he kind of held his leg out to trip him.
Oh,
yes.
Now, did you ever see the infamous Woody Hayes thing? That's the most famous coach attack of a player. I mean, it's a weird. This is a very specific category. But in early 80s, the famous legendary Ohio State coach Woody Hayes, I believe their team, Ohio State, was playing Clemson, and I think and Clemson got an interception. And it was on the Ohio State sideline. The Clemson kid held the ball up, and Woody Hayes literally punched the kid on the side. Yeah, got fired.
Wow.
That was it. That's literally how Woody Hayes, a Hall of Fame coach, ended his career, by punching a kid who made an interception on him. Sports was different back then, guys. Holy shit. These athletes with the sensitivity these days. And, they all got the burner accounts on the Twitter. You can't say a goddamn word. Here's the play. Now the kid makes the interception. He's on the sidelines. Watch Woody Hayes. Boom! Right there.
Oh, my God.
That's the actual head coach of Ohio State. Show it again, Robert.
Wow. It looks like he cleared the bench, too.
Oh, hell yeah. Watch it. Here he is. And boom! Right in the throat. Right in the throat, Gillberg. That's an Undertaker punch. He treated that gentleman like he was Kane, his long-lost brother. Unbelievable. Woody Hayes. We're going to have to sign them up for a steel cage match next Saturday.
That's what you want out of a coach, right, Dave?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine
I'm okay with violence. You know me.
Imagine if that octogenarian manager for the Yankees had brought that level of violence to Pedro Martinez. You know what I mean?
You're talking about Don Zimmer, and he was the bench coach. He was not the manager. Torrey was.
Oh, well, you could have fooled me, because Joe Torre wasn't in charge of Pedro Martinez.
Now, Dwayne Gillberg. My God. So your Ravens are still in good playoff shape.
Yeah, we're in the playoffs no matter what.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe in Lamar Jackson long term?
To be honest with you, I was a huge Lamar guy at first, but now that I see, everybody's saying pay the man. Well, I'm sorry. If I'm going to pay you, you're going to play for me. Play, man. Get your ass in the game and play. Don't say, oh, I got a bad knee.
Gotta be on the field.
Practice.
Gotta be on the field. There comes a time where when you're injury prone, it is actually it really should detract from your overall ranking as a QB. The guy can never stay healthy.
They offered him $240 million with 160 guaranteed, and he turned it down.
Wow.
Turned it down. I want it all guaranteed. Kiss my butt. No contract in football should ever be guaranteed.
Agreed.
Because it's not if you get hurt, it's when you get hurt. You're
That's
going to
right.
get hurt.
That's right. Look at you.
somebody $50 million for sitting on a bench for a year? Nah, I don't think so.
Now, when you worked for the WWE, and obviously you had a legendary wrestling career, so $240 million for how many years was he going to get that for? What, 10 years? Or?
It was like 7 years.
7 years, okay. So Jesus Christ, that's like 30 million something a year.
Yeah, it's a nice chunk of money.
Now, did Vince McMahon, did he ever give you, money comparable to like Lamar Jackson?
No, man.
Okay.
Hell no.
All right.
So, brother, I work for the state right now. I live paycheck to paycheck, man.
I'm just asking. You're a big star in my book. I thought Gillberg would show up to WrestleMania, and that's a $5 million payday right there.
Where?
WrestleMania, Gillberg fighting.
Oh, if I get to wrestle Goldberg, it might be something, but
Let's do it. Can we finally get Gillberg versus Goldberg? Will that guy ever man up?
I have asked him right to his face. He says nope.
What's his deal? He doesn't strike me. I'm going to tell it to you. You're a nice guy, so let me tell it to you, Gillberg. He does not seem to have a sense of humor. He does not seem to be a guy who always understands the bigger picture of the wrestling business. That yes, you're going to be having to mock him, but in the long run, if he gives you 10 jackhammers and 10 spears at WrestleMania, everyone's happy, everyone makes a lot of money, and the fans are excited. So I don't understand why the guy won't do it. And I'm going to go one further and say, you're in just as good of a shape as Goldberg. I've seen you a couple months ago.
And what I don't understand is why, when he had his run, why didn't he bring me back as like his little buddy and make a tag team or something? Man, it could have been like crazy, man.
It could have been like Dr. Evil and Mini-Me.
Yeah, how come he doesn't allow him to make a doll of me? He doesn't allow me video game.
You're a nice guy. I'm not gonna
video game. I can't have nothing.
All right, listen, you're a nice guy, so I'm not gonna put you on the spot. I'm putting Goldberg on the spot. I want a match, Goldberg versus Gillberg, this WrestleMania 2023. And if it doesn't happen, Goldberg, and I want the camera to zoom in on my face right here. Thank you,
Dave.
Goldberg, if you don't fight Gillberg, you're the pussy. And in case you don't know how that word spelled, P-U-S-S-Y, and you ain't got no alibi, you a pussy, Goldberg. You fight Gillberg this year at WrestleMania, or make him a tag team partner. You guys will be tag team champions of the world within 6 months.
Either way, it could work. You know what I'm saying?
Of course it's going to work.
Oh, yeah.
Now, let's remind people of Gillberg's physicality. This is a couple of years ago at this point, and we had a match, Eastside Dave. At that time, this was before I was excommunicated from the Catholic Church, so I was still Father David. I was still an ordained priest, evil priest at that point.
Any news on that with Benedict dying, Dave?
What's that?
Any news on your excommunication? I know Benedict was the main one who kind of...
Pope Benedict, who recently died.
So maybe
he was the guy who kicked me out of the church. So maybe Pope Francis will bring me back in. I don't know. But it's a good question, Robert. I'm going to send out an email to the Vatican tomorrow. Roy Harder accompanied me too, by the way. He was my organist. Every good evil priest needs to have an organist. And we made the mistake.
If you want to get back in, you should stop calling yourself an evil priest.
Okay.
I feel like that
I'm
might be
a
striking.
holy sanctimonious priest.
Perfect.
And my holy and sanctimonious organist, we made the mistake of popping our stupid mouths off to Gillberg because the way I thought about him, I'll just be honest. I'm 6'2", 195 pounds of twisted Irish steel. I thought, listen, no, I'm not a professional wrestler. I'm not trained. Have I gotten into a scrap or two in my time? Did I play sports in my time? Yes and yes. I figured, you know what? I can take on Gillberg. Roy thought I could take on Gillberg.
Oh, yeah.
And then next thing you know, well, this is what happened. This is what happened if you didn't see.
Who's going to beat Gillberg? My organist could beat Gillberg. My organist could beat Gillberg. That's what this old man's going to do. You
think this old man's gonna hurt anyone? This guy should be in a nursing home, not a wrestling ring. Nursing home, not a wrestling ring. That was good.
Yeah, well, good.
This is the part where I have to. Roy was trying to get the attention of Big A, Andrew Gold. He kept saying Big A, because he wanted a picture. And I said, forget about it, Roy, get going. Like under my breath, because you wouldn't give up on the picture. And I'm like, you have to swing the goddamn.
Oh my God!
Did you see Gillberg hit Roy with that right though? Can we rewind that just for a second? Look at that right hand. He made mincemeat out of you, Harder.
Oh, yeah.
He dropped your ass like a bad habit. You became a goddamn jar of applesauce. Bam!
Yeah, you know, I used to think wrestling was fake until that moment.
Flopping around like a crab, by the way. I don't know if I guess you lost all control of your hands and legs. Because he's flopping around like a goddamn crab. Anyway, all right, that's the punch. Now keep it rolling. I thought they were cheering for me at this point. I didn't realize that they were cheering with the fact that Gillberg had just knocked out Roy Harder. I thought the fans were finally.
I think they were
behind
trying to get me an ambulance, David.
Yeah. And you didn't help much, Roy. You got out of the ring. You could have stayed there, tried to trip the guy at least, acted like a log, tried to trip his feet. Bam!
Wow.
There's the right hand on the Dave man. And he knocks me down. Do you see my feet went flying up in the air like I was Joe Pesci in Home Alone, for Christ's sakes. And then here we go to end it off. I was seeing stars. I'm not going to lie. Seeing birdies. I thought, I didn't know exactly where I was. I thought Gillberg might, take it easy a little bit, not go right into the spear.
Oh.
And that is going to do it. Broke 6 of my ribs. 1, 2, 3. That's it.
Yeah. That was the end of my wrestling career,
That
David.
was a lesson learned, Gillberg. Listen, Dwayne, lesson learned. I ain't screwing with you ever again, and that's why I will manage you against Goldberg at WrestleMania if Goldberg stops being a pussy.
That sounds good there.
Right? Robert, did you like that?
I like that a lot. That was pretty good. Ted had a great comment. He wanted to point out Woody punches like Black Earl.
Who does?
Woody. The coach
Gillberg?
from Ohio State. No, the coach from Ohio State's punch reminded him of Black Earl.
Well, Woody had a weird way of punching, which was just arm side to side with like his hand like that. I don't know. Yeah, that was an odd way of throwing a punch. Usually,
maybe he's trying
throwing. What's that?
Maybe he's trying to throw a clothesline.
Oh, did you ever think of that, Ted?
Clothesline the guy's foot.
Yeah, it did have a clothesline result. If he was trying to throw a clothesline, then it was actually good form. If it was a punch, if it was an overhead punch, then yeah, it was poor form. Dwayne, Mr. Gillberg.
Yes, sir.
I can't, I still watch WWE. I watch AEW because I do a wrestling podcast with my son. And I love it when you pop up. You still pop up.
Yeah.
The occasional, there's a Royal Rumble here. There's a Monday Night Raw over there. You're still on the thing there. That's got to feel pretty goddamn special when it's 2023 and you've been on Raw for like what, the last 26 years? I mean, when was your dad? 97 maybe?
Hey, I've been on WWF and WWE TV over the last in the last 4 decades.
Wow.
Whoa.
Bravo.
Hey, 4 decades I've been on WWE TV.
Now, the last time that I saw Dwayne, it was at IWF, and you were running the show. It was a great show. You did a fantastic job.
Yeah, Kevin's a heck of a guy, man. I'll tell you that.
Master of Chaos, Kevin Knight.
Hey, he's got some great talent there, man.
He does.
Respectful boys. They were all taught old school, and you know what I mean when I say old school. To now, they're all very respectful. That was an honor to be in there and run that locker room. It really was. Yeah,
and you did an unbelievable job on it. And we've had Gillberg, we've had Tony Atlas, Tito Santana. Tony Atlas calls me Piper. Says you remind me of Roddy Piper, so that's going to be my nickname for you. I'm going to be honest. I think it's probably because he can't remember my name. Who's right in this situation?
I don't remember your name, Dave. I can guarantee you that. That's a smart man.
He does? Really?
Yes, I guarantee you.
I'm not saying that he's not smart. I just think, that's another big star like you. The guy's legitimately Mr. USA and stuff like that.
Legitimately is a huge star, right?
Yeah, I can't when you meet the big stars, they're not going to remember every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there. And I put myself in the Dick category.
Yeah, Tony's one of the ones that does remember the people. You know what I mean?
Wow. All right. Yeah. Well, I love him, and I love you.
He asked me who I voted for back then in the locker room, and I was afraid to give him the wrong answer, so I told him I forgot.
You said you forgot to vote, or you forgot?
I forgot who I voted for.
Oh, you forgot who you voted for. Not even forgot to vote. I thought that would have been easier.
Yeah,
I forgot.
As you just said, I don't vote.
My team's in the playoffs. The New York Football Giants. By the way, we have a common bond.
Yeah, they did it yesterday.
Yeah. And our bond is that the Giants have been to 5 Super Bowls, 4-1. It was your Baltimore Ravens who gave us our one defeat.
Yeah. I'm praying that tonight the Buffalo can keep us in the possibility of winning a division.
Yeah,
if they win Cincinnati tonight, then it's all up to next week when we play Cincinnati.
That's going to be a hell of a game. Bengals versus the Bills. You watching?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, you're watching. Hell yeah, he's watching. So the New York Football Giants are in the playoffs.
And speaking of the Giants, I never was a Giants fan, but I was one player's fan, and he's on our team now. And who's that? I always had his jersey and all.
Phil Simms.
No, JPP.
Jason Pierre-Paul is on your team.
Sure. I love that he's on the Ravens, man.
That's much better, even though he has, the missing thumb. Phil Simms is like 68 years old, so I'm glad it's JPP on your team and not Phil Simms.
Talk about a real firecracker on the field, am I right?
Oh, yeah.
He's saying that because he blew his hand off.
He's still lighting up the field, though. Get it?
That was awesome.
He's got explosive talent.
Roy, do you have a JPP firecracker gone wrong?
Yeah, when he tackles you, all you hear is boom.
JPP can't get a good hand on fireworks displays.
Oh.
Roy, you're the last one to go.
I got nothing. I got nothing, dude. I don't know anything about it.
Doesn't matter.
He's got
you
nothing.
know the premise. Some guy blew his hand off with fireworks.
I'm trying to figure out how they hire a guy without a thumb. It's kind of important when you're playing football, isn't it?
This is your joke. This is your joke. I'm not letting you off the hook. A football player blew his hand off on 4th of July, and his name is JPP. Now, you must make a pun right now.
You know me, Dave. I'm terrible with the puns.
This is what I've had to deal with, Gillberg, for 12 goddamn years. This fucking guy, he's my co-host. And every time I ask him to speak, he says, I can't think of anything to say.
He must really blow on the field, huh, Dave?
All right, there you go. I mean, that was truly pulling teeth, but it worked. I want to, you know what? That was a fun little JPP firecracker segment. So, all right. So that's a couple things. The Jets. Fuck the Jets. Forget about it. I mean,
they just dominated the Seahawks.
Zach Wilson is just that little spoiled brat, and he's done for the year. He's done with the Jets. And now Mike White looked terrible yesterday. I tuned in for some of that game because it was after the Giants. He was underthrowing balls by 15 yards. You're like, what the hell? Roy Harder can throw the ball further down the field than this guy. What's happening? Well, I mean, will the Jets ever be good, Dwayne?
Put Flacco in, you want the ball thrown down the field. He can throw the ball.
Will that organization win a Super Bowl in the next 20 years?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think that goddamn franchise is cursed ever since they got mad at Joe Namath for opening a bar or something in New York. Remember, there was a big scandal because Joe Namath was opening up some kind of bar, something like that.
What was that?
Yeah, like they suspended Namath because they said, he was gambling or something. It was but it was total BS. And ever since then, the Jets organization has been a miserable failure.
Gambling and opening a bar are two very different things.
I don't remember the details. I know that people were pissed at Joe Namath. All right. Roy Harder.
Yes, sir, David.
You smoke marijuana still?
Been known to partake, although I have been taking a little bit of a break because of the bronchitis I've developed here.
I smoke marijuana when applicable. It is legal in the state of New Jersey. What a wonderful state we have. It's legal in New York. Lots of athletes are turning to the pot. And it brings me to my next topic, which is, why aren't sports leagues banning marijuana, not banning marijuana usage, but banning, why doesn't every sports league, why aren't they cool with pot these days? When you factor in that it's legal now in so many states, and they are showing actual results that marijuana helps these CTE victims, these brain trauma victims, and it's so much healthier for them than, the 35 Jack and Cokes at the bar that makes them want to beat up everyone in the club.
Yeah, well, I think it has a lot more to do with the fact that they're supposed to be role models for kids, David. You and I are not role models for children, although we should be. But
come on. Kids aren't supposed to be drinking. We've had athletes endorse Miller Lite and Budweiser for years. We've had guys endorsing adult products. Come on.
Also, if you're promoting responsible use, like, hey, do this so you don't end up depressed, dead, and broke. You know what I mean? You could channel it so it's like a positive thing. Like, this is a proper education. This is the proper ways to use it. But I think the real
I'm going to bring you. How about this to tie it into wrestling? There's an announcer, Gillberg, named Mauro Ranallo. I'm sure you know him. Mm-hmm. The guy's extremely talented. And this guy was having a lot of issues, mental issues. And he was getting all kinds of drugs, prescription medication from legitimate doctors and therapists, and was seeing everyone, and realized, that he had some mental issues and didn't know what to do about it. He finally did two things, got into therapy, talking therapy, but then even the therapist said, "You ever tried pot?" He says, since he tried weed, his mental issues have gone away. And he doesn't, and he doesn't do any prescription drugs anymore.
That's great.
Yes. It's actually like a real, amazing story. And yet these stories are everywhere. I've been watching HBO Real Sports or ESPN, and they have been featuring marijuana in sports lately. It's a popular topic because it's been legalized in so many states. And you are hearing one positive story after another.
It's better than doing the dip.
Rather than drinking a case of beer or an entire bottle of vodka and getting in the car, they just go back to their house and chill.
Yeah, that is.
And if you think about it, it's so much more, in my opinion, of a better thing to engage in for an athlete who's coming off of a big game where the adrenaline is pumping. What would you rather have that 300, let's say 50-pound, jacked up, psyched up, adrenaline fueled offensive lineman? Would you rather have him drinking 35 bars at the bar so that he breaks everyone's neck when he gets mad? Or would you rather have him go home and smoke some pot and be happy?
I'd rather have him go home, smoke some pot and be happy.
Thank you.
Yep, just lay back, say it's time to relax a little bit, take me a nap.
And we're seeing these stories all over the media right now. I'm just saying.
So I think one of the main issues, Dave, is that it's still federally illegal. So I don't know how the dispensaries you've been to work, but most of them in New York and in Pennsylvania, you have to pay cash because the government won't allow any credit lines or any credit transactions. For
no,
marijuana.
You don't got to pay cash in New Jersey. There's a dispensary 12 minutes from my house. But no cash in any way. It's a Greenleaf type of deal. Zen Leaf or whatever the hell it's called. Zenleaf,
Yeah.
I think is
Zenleaf. Yep.
I
Zenleaf,
need you
it's
to
like,
send
yeah,
me a
it's-
package, Dave. I'm just kidding. But the issue is, like, the government has come into some of these dispensaries in California in particular and taken all their credit money. The banks won't give them any funds, freeze their accounts, all that money's gone. So if you want to make an example out of somebody, just using, for example, the National Football League would be a pretty good group to make an example of. You know what I mean? If you were trying to make a statement on a national level. So I think a lot of these are afraid, and maybe it'll be a group like the XFL.
Now, Robert, you like the pot, right?
Oh, I love the pot, Dave.
I got a
same,
game
same
for
as
you.
your guy with mental issues, only it didn't fix him.
Yeah, it's true. Gillberg, lots of Robert has lots and lots of mental issues. Did you have to deal with any of those before the show today?
Me?
Yeah, you.
No, I don't have no mental issues, man.
No. Did you have to deal with any of Robert's mental issues?
Oh, no.
Dave, I saw what he did to you. He kicked the shit out
Sorry,
of me.
I just always got to make sure. I always have to go over with the guest if Robert is being a good producer or if Robert is flying off the handle. I've known Robert to sometimes Roy, when he books a guest, it's like he's like the guy, the broken down salesman at the bar who's talking his problems to the bartender. And Robert's like, "Oh, Dwayne, it's nice to have you on the show tonight with the Davey Mac Sports Program. Man, I got to tell you, my fucking car broke down the other day. And so I'm trying to, and the guest is like, so what time does the show start? What the fuck is this guy even talking about? So
You know that to me.
he was professional.
Yes, he was.
Wow. 2 points for you, Robert.
Thank you,
Two
sir.
brand new points on a brand new year. Robert all of a sudden in the lead.
Oh, what you gonna
2
do,
points.
Roy?
Roy's got minus 1 point so far tonight.
For my bad firecracker pun.
I mean, after the introduction and the reluctancy to play around with the JPP segment, Robert, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a game. And the following game is wrestler or pot strain.
Ooh,
Okay.
In fact,
who's playing?
you are. Okay.
Well, I didn't get anything wrong yet, David.
Oh, no. You got to do it before the game.
Ah.
Yeah. All right, there you go. All right. This is exciting. Roy versus Robert. Wrestler pot strain. Gilbert, let's do a little pre-match analysis. Who do you like in this competition? Let me give you the tail of the tape. Robert is currently smoking. He's got the dab going right now. He's been smoking pot actually since about 6:45 p.m. Yeah, he got a head
Switch
start on
that
this.
PM to an AM, Dave.
Yeah, you sure it wasn't AM?
He got a head start on this game by about 12 hours.
Yeah.
Roy, on the other hand, psycho, but always seems to be able to turn out a miracle victory every once in a while. It's a difficult decision. He's also, had an extensive history of drug usage for himself. Who do you like, Gillberg?
I'm going to go with Rob, man. I'm going to go with Rob. Got to go with the stoner.
Gotta go with Robert. He's going with Robert.
He doesn't know me very well yet, does he?
Well, eating an edible. Well, when Robert's got a dab, I think that could help out Robert. I feel like you might lose your mind in a matter of minutes.
I have had a little bit of a tolerance break for a few weeks now, so this is going to hit me hard, David. I will.
Okay.
I will tell you that.
I
Excellent.
look forward to after the show when it kicks in and we're all getting the Roy's high edible texts. They're coming to
Roy,
get me,
do not-
Dave.
Roy, no texts tonight from you.
Fair enough, David.
I have to go back to work tomorrow. This was such a nice Christmas vacation. I didn't do anything and I didn't talk. I literally, between my morning radio show and not my 1, 2, 3 highly successful podcasts, I just said I want to stay home, sleep in, and not talk. So I'm excited. All right, here we go. Here is the competition. We're going to start with, let's start with, you know what? We're going to start with Roy.
All right.
Roy, wrestler or pot strain?
Wrestler.
No. I'm going to give you the name. You're going to, the edible's kicking in already.
Kicking in, David. Sorry.
It is.
All right, go
I'm
ahead, David.
giving you the name. You tell me if it's a wrestler or if it's a pot strain. Got
Okay,
it?
got it now, David.
Okay. Jesus.
Let's do this.
New Day.
Pot strain. That's
Wrestler. Massive act in the WWE.
Yeah.
3-person team. Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods. They make up the 3-man supergroup New Day. Awful job on your part. -1.
Is he a sativa or an indica?
Number 2, Robert.
Yes, sir.
LA Confidential.
Ooh. That could be like a wrestling team, but I've smoked that strain of weed, so I'm going marijuana strain, Dave.
He got it.
Wow, I honestly thought I was going to house this. I'm really surprised I got that wrong.
I thought that was a tricky one because currently there's a wrestler called LA Knight in the WWE. So we tried to throw Robert off with that one.
Wow.
There's nothing confidential about his night, if you know what I'm saying, Dave.
Roy Harder.
Yeah.
Granddaddy Purple.
That
wrestler or pot strain?
That is definitely a pot strain, David.
Pot strain.
Yeah. All right.
But I could absolutely see a wrestler being called Granddaddy Purple.
I had to think about it. I had to think about it.
You know, come on. You got the beautiful purple robe, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm picturing perhaps a large African American, you know, as Granddaddy Purple.
It's
I just think that's
manager, Granddaddy Purple.
Hey, yeah.
It's Granddaddy Purple, Daddy. Well, I'm here to give you all the colors of Granddaddy. I'll give you Granddaddy Purple. I'll give you Granddaddy Blue. I'll give you Granddaddy Red. But from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the canyon, Granddaddy Purple's going to be here, and he's going to make all your dreams come true, baby. Granddaddy Purple is what is it's all about. When you mess with Granddaddy Purple, you mess with the good stuff, Daddy. Granddaddy Purple, over and out. All right.
You know what's funny about that? You said he was a big black guy, but he talks like a heavy-set white guy from the South.
That's because
that was Dusty Rhodes.
Gillberg, I was going to say, that's because it's just a shitty Dusty Rhodes impression.
That's what
All right, Robert. It's Robert's turn, yes?
It is my turn.
It's 1-1. Game's closer than I thought it was going to be. Robert, the White Widow.
No, I
didn't. Oh. I'm gonna go. Marijuana. No, is that the name of the wrestler who just retired from WWE last night? Is that her name?
No, it is not. I'm not even sure who you're talking about.
That's the Black Widow. You got the guy wrong.
Sasha Banks, I think.
Oh, Sasha Banks. Okay,
then,
no, she's not known as the White Widow. So is that your guess, wrestler?
Yeah, that was my guess. Now, in hindsight, I know I was
wrong. Wow.
Right. We tied it up.
Train, my friend.
Is that when you're a pothead?
You are making Gillberg look like a jerk. He put all of his money. He put the $3,000 he needs to give to his goddamn landscaping crew.
Am I allowed to help him?
You're blowing all of Gillberg's goddamn leaf money. He's got to spend $1,200 a goddamn year on those fucking leaves.
I got a guy who can solve that problem for you, Gillberg.
Got it.
All right, Roy Harder.
Yes, all right.
Uncle Howdy.
That's a wrestler.
You got it. Whoa. Yes. I actually thought you were going to get that one wrong. Brand new character. And it's not even, we're not even sure what the hell he is. He's like an alter ego of Bray Wyatt. Wow.
He's Bray's brother.
Yeah, Bray's brother. It's probably Bray's brother, right? Gillberg, you think it's Bo Dallas?
I say it's his brother.
I think it's his brother too. No, I really do. I do think it's Bo Dallas. I think Uncle Howdy has to be Bo Dallas, but we'll find that out. This is incredible. It's 2-1.
Do you want me to do my dab now, Dave, for the one I missed, or do I do them all
Please.
at the end? Okay.
Please.
All right. Give me a
Do a
second.
couple
Maybe you can
dabs
ask
right
the
now.
question and I'll think about it.
All right.
I got to let my dog out. He's puking all over my studio. Hold on 1 second here. Give me 1 second.
That's okay. What did he say? His dog was puking over his studio.
He doesn't even own dogs, Dave.
You know what? No matter what happens, Robert, we're giving you the point here.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, next one. He didn't hear that. So next one is I gotta come up. Oh, Big Show.
Come on.
Is this for me or Robert?
That's for Robert.
That's a wrestler, Dave. And I know that because Big A steals his music. Well, it's the Big A.
I forgot that Big A used Big Show's music on the East Side Dave show. All right, so it's 2-2. All right, this is it. Oh my God, what is that thing, Robert? Please tell me that's a bong and not an adult device.
That's a dab rig. I'm just waiting for it to cool down, and then we'll hit the dab.
Whoa, look at this guy. All right, Roy Harder, ready?
Okay, yes, go for it.
Final question. Golden Goat.
Pot strain.
Yep.
Pot strain. Oh my God, you're right. 3-2. This is not happening. Robert, you need this one to tie and force it into overtime.
I believe in myself, Dave.
All right.
Robert.
Palm.
Robert.
All right, here we go. Ready? Palm Mincer.
Well, Dave, I don't believe that's a particular strain of weed or a wrestler. I think that's a bonus trick question, and that's what you use to grind up your weed that you smoke while you're watching wrestling.
Oh, my God. That's it. And I think because that was a trick question, he gets an extra half a point. And I think because of that, Robert is your winner.
He wins.
Dave,
yeah, Robert won that fair and square because that was a trick question. And rather than do overtime, I just wanted to do an extra half a point with that one. So Robert won fair and square, Roy. Okay, no goddamn bad sportsmanship for once. All right,
fair
Roy,
enough, David.
All right, no shit talk, Robert. No fucking complaint about the goddamn rules. Okay, for once.
Fair enough, David. I won't do it this time.
Mr. Champion, if I may, in the honor of weed and showing that we could all get along and change, I'm going to trade it half a point with Roy so we can tie and go out.
No. Gillberg wants his money. No. That's the fucking dab talking. That's the dab talking. Davey Mac don't do participation awards. What are you, fucking crazy? There always got to be a winner with the Dave, man. I'm into sports, for Christ's sakes. The last thing I want is a goddamn tie. You know what? I'm taking away Robert's championship. Roy Harder is the new championship of the wrestler pot strain game. And a very critical error by Robert. Roy Harder, give yourselves a congratulations. And that's how he does it.
That means Dave has just earned himself a spear next time I see him.
Oh, I look forward to that, Mr. Gillberg.
Bring it. Bring it, Gillberg.
That sidewalk,
I'm gonna have Robert behind me. I'm gonna step to the side, and you're gonna end up fucking spearing Robert instead. It's gonna be one of those scenarios. All right, wait. Let me talk to you about this thing, because you know that I've been all over the umpiring in baseball. I think Major League Baseball has a major crisis on their hands because, as a sports fan and baseball fan, it's legitimately difficult to watch these guys get so many pitches wrong. It's just I don't know why they won't do allow the K zone to call the balls and strikes. They just have to do that. It's right there. But for whatever reason, they're not doing it. Maybe they'll do it in the near future. It's not happening in 2023. Meanwhile, 10 Major League Baseball umpires are all retiring before the season. That's never happened before in the history of the game. They've never had 10 umpires retire.
Wow.
So the conspiracy theory is, are these umps seeing that they might get they want to kick back on this whole use the technology to make the outs, to make the balls and strikes. Does this signify a bigger issue? Did Major League Baseball perhaps force these guys out? Gillberg, what do you think about this?
I think you need umpires. Yes, they do mess up, but they're human. And that's what adds the human part to the game. If you keep putting in all these damn computers and everything in the game, why not just have robots go out there and play the damn game?
Well, first of all, I like that.
I understand. Yes, they do make mistakes. Yes, they do. But I think that's part of the game. You understand what I'm saying?
I do, but what about the balls and strikes issue? For instance, Aaron Judge had over 150 low, out of the zone balls that were called strikes because these human umpires just can't wrap it around their head that Aaron Judge is 6'8", and as a result, his knees are higher. And so a strike that comes in a certain low, trajectory, that's a strike at the knees on 99% of the league is not a strike on Aaron Judge. It's 2 or 3 inches below his knees. Yet they keep doing this to the guy. To me, and it's not just because I'm a Yankee fan and I'm an Aaron Judge fan. It's because since I watch that every day, day in and day out, you go, look, and by the way, I'm not saying no umpires ever exist. I'm just saying, why can't they make the K zone call the balls and strikes?
I think you're getting a little too perfect. I think there'd be too many walks.
Right.
With you.
Good point.
Let me ask you a question, Dave.
A bazillion walks because the K zone, you only got that little square, and if you're a little out or whatever, it's going to call it a ball.
I mean, that's the point of a strike zone. It's the width of the plate. It's from the knees to right below the numbers. And if they just have that as the K zone, and they just have a guy in the booth that says the ball touched the line, strike. He says it on the microphone into the ump's ear instantaneously, and the ump at home, so that we still, for the people in the stands and for the people watching the game, the home play umpire, ball or strike or whatever. You have an up guy.
I think it'll be like this. The ball comes in, boom, strike. You know what I mean? You got that 2 or 3 seconds. Guys got to go, hey, man, it was a...
You know what I mean? Sports have technology that they're using. Baseball's introduced replays, but for some reason they're staying very, very stubborn with this ball and strike issue. And I do think that makes a difference.
All of a penalty in football. It's human. You know what I mean? It's
human nature.
Human discretion.
Yeah, it's human discretion. That's exactly right.
That keeps the human part in the game. I mean, if you take it all out,
that's what I like about soccer is they only have one ref, and he's got the only eyes on the field. So if he doesn't see it, it's cool. It didn't happen.
All right, that's I guess so. Wait, there's one referee on the field,
and then there are 2 flagsmen.
2 flagsmen, but only one ref on the field.
And the flagsmen just watch offside.
No wonder Messi's quitting like a little loser.
Dave, can I ask you a question about that study?
Yeah.
Now, was that compared to other balls and strikes called during the game? Because some of the umps have a different strike zone that call low strikes, but it's consistent across. Like some of my favorite umps. I'm not a huge fan of baseball, but I'm a huge fan of hating umpires. It is one of my favorite hobbies. Angel Hernandez is the worst. Yeah. But occasionally you get an ump who's consistently low, his strike zone, and you go, okay, I get it. He's calling that the whole way across the board.
It's just objectively with the K zone that we see on television. Aaron Judge had over 150 pitches that went below the lowest part of the K zone. Their own K zone, they showed time and time again balls that were 2 or 3 inches below that were then not at his knees were being called strikes because these home plate umpires can't adjust to a 6'8" hitter. See?
That makes sense, yeah.
Maybe they should just put the umpire, they should stand him a little higher up when he gets to the bat. Let's put him on a little stool or something, lift him up 6 inches.
Out of Aaron Judge's legs.
Yeah. What? I like my idea better.
So you guys would prefer to saw Aaron Judge's legs or have the home plate umpire stand on stilts right as they just go with the K zone. Everyone's driving me crazy with this issue.
It's the Yankees. Who cares?
That's a good point. All right, listen.
Where do we draw the line, Dave? All of a sudden now I've got a robot baseball player who can hit balls perfectly in the K zone.
I didn't fucking say I want goddamn robots playing baseball. I got Dabby and I got Edible over here. This was a big mistake that I made, Gillberg. Dabby and Gillberg, Dabby and then fucking Edible have taken over the show, and they're talking about robots in sports.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Who needs a cat? Who needs a catcher? I just put in a freaking robot. Exactly.
All right,
right.
will you please? Since
How about
I got these
paint on balls and just put a square back there, and when you throw it where the ball hits, it's a strike or a ball.
Bro, I love that. That is what I watched this show called Major League Wiffle Ball, and that's exactly what they do. They have a thing. They know no umpire is going to make a right call in their league, so they have a square. The ball hits the square, bam. That's it. But of course, I mean, but then you won't have a catcher.
Why even bother with the ball? I mean, I play Wii Sports all the time. I don't need a ball to play.
All right. Since you guys are partying and this is technically a sports show, here's the question. Best partying athletes of all time.
Oh.
I got a few that are on the top of my head. But if you're going to talk about a partying athlete, I don't think anyone takes Dennis Rodman.
Oh, what about the guy who was always taking he was a baseball player who was always taking the LSD on the mound?
Well, that was Doc Ellis. That was just the one time. But yeah, that's when he threw the no-hitter.
Yes, exactly. Doc Ellis. I mean, but he was high for pretty much his entire career.
You know what? Okay, you know what? I'm going to give that to you. And I'm actually surprised that you knew Doc Ellis.
Well, I saw a documentary on him on one of those shows, one of those networks. Yeah.
Robert, you got one?
Oh, I got a couple. Jordan would be at the top of my lists.
Michael Jordan?
Yeah, apparently the whole dream team would just go out and party all night before the games and then beat teams by like 60 points the entire Olympic tournament.
Yeah, but I thought Jordan was more of a I don't see him as a big drinker. I know he's a big cards player.
Yeah.
What about Strawberry? Darryl Strawberry. Wasn't he a big
good one? But my number one pick would be Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis? Oh, wait a second. Look at Gillberg now. You're so
go ahead. I'm interested in this.
You know you're gonna have a great story to tell the next day. That's all I'm saying. You know.
Well,
Ray was a he's a God-fearing man and all, according to what we know.
He's a preacher now, Robert. And if you are alluding to the incident where Ray Lewis and a couple of his friends were leaving a club, and unfortunately a man or two died due to stab wounds, we're not going in that direction. That's not partying. So I was looking for something more.
But
what about The Godfather?
The Godfather. There we go. You're talking about in WWE, The Godfather.
Yeah, The Godfather. Yep.
I love that man. When's the last time you talked to that guy?
Oh, there, brother.
When's the last time you talked to that man?
Yesterday.
Wait, is he still? I heard he owns a club, Cheetahs, in Las Vegas.
Yeah, he owned. He owned part of it. It was the largest strip club in Vegas. I said, how many girls work every day? He said about 350.
Holy cow!
I'd like to change my answer.
Yeah,
350 women worked at the Godfather's club. And by the way, Roy, we're not talking about Marlon Brando. This is a wrestler. Okay.
No, I figured. I put two and two together.
350 women work for the God. That is impressive. Okay, I'm going to throw you a couple more names. What about John Daly, the golfer, smoking cigarettes on the course?
Yeah, there you go.
Come on. What about Mike Tyson? He's like the marijuana king of the world these days.
That's a good point. Yeah, but not really when he was at his prime, peak athlete though.
Come on. You're trying to tell me that Mike wasn't smoking up in his prime?
I guess you're right.
He was. He was. Don't.
He had to be smoking before he fought Holyfield. He got hungry and bit half the
Yeah.
Got the munchies.
Yeah.
He thought his fucking ear was some candy.
Hey, look at that ear. It's something that looks like a pancake.
we have a couple in the chat too, Dave.
All right.
Glass Joe says Ty Cobb.
Ty Cobb. Well, I mean, he killed again. That's more of a dark
Babe
side of
Ruth.
sports.
What about
Babe-
Babe Ruth?
Babe Ruth was a
Babe
drinker.
Ruth.
Very
Babe Ruth is great, Gillberg. As for Ty Cobb, he probably killed a couple guys. He also legendarily beat up a fan who was criticizing him, and it turned out the guy had no arms. And Ty Cobb put the boots to him.
No.
That's a true story. Look it up.
Oh man, are you serious?
I'm 100% serious. That's a true story. Some guy was giving him a hard time, and Ty Cobb jumped into the stands, beat the holy hell out of him, and the people had to tell him, "Man, he's got no arms. He's a cripple." Like that's what they said back then. He's a cripple. He's a cripple. Get off him. No, you can look that up. That's according to the Ken Burns PBS documentary Baseball.
That's like a Monty Python skit. What are you gonna do?
Hold on. It's just a scratch wound, Ty. Ty, it's just a scratch wound. No, but listen, I'm not even going to say what the fan said, but the reason why Ty Cobb jumped into the stands was because he called Ty Cobb the bad word for an African-American. And it wasn't that it was the word that offended Ty Cobb. It's that he was such a low-ranked, awful racist that simply being called that set him off. That's the story, according to the Ken Burns documentary Baseball. All right, check it out on PBS On Demand. Okay, that's not from the Dave Man. That's from Ken Burns. All right.
Yeah, but few people know this, Dave. Actually, Ty Cobb's nephew beat out Ken Burns for the senior baseball team at their high school, so there may have been some motivation there.
You said there was another name. Was there any more names or no?
JC said Pele Lindbergh.
Pele?
Yeah.
The soccer player?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that he was a partier.
He partied real hard a few days ago.
Untouchable.
He died a few days ago at the age of 82. No news media outlet said it was from a drug overdose. You know what? You see what you're doing to Gillberg. We're going to move on.
He overdosed on the chemo.
Who?
Hernandez.
Which Hernandez?
Aaron
Hernandez? Again, he's a murderer. He killed people. This isn't partying. Somehow, Robert, you've confused partying with murder. You know what? We're just going to move on.
Here's one for you, David. Mickey Mantle.
Thank you, Roy. That was a good one. Can we please move the fuck on?
Go ahead.
Gillberg.
Yes.
You know how much I love you?
Yeah.
A lot. I want to know what your greatest wrestling highlight of all time. At least
well, you know what that is, man, when I won the title.
The light heavyweight championship in WWE.
Yeah, but then after that, I would say the match when I became Gillberg and wrestled Luna Vachon, I got my highest accolades as far as from the boys and the McMahons and all that was when I did that. Because
really? What did Vince McMahon say to you?
They had no clue what I was going to do. They had no clue. I said, "Hey, Gillberg," I came up with the idea, and they were like, "Okay, let's see what happens."
What did Vince say to you? You said the McMahons said they liked it. Vince said something?
Oh, when I come through the curtain after the match, Luna was still in the ring. And when I walked through the curtain, there wasn't a McMahon, a camera person, or one of the boys that wasn't standing right there clapping, laughing their asses off. The women all had makeup running down their face because they were crying. They were laughing so hard. You know,
that's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. Right there.
Yeah, that to me is my most memorable moment in wrestling. Even though I won the title and kept it, man, which was everything to me because me and my dad, you got to understand, I was from a little kid till I learned how to wrestle. Wrestling was real until the day I got in the ring. Okay?
Gotcha.
That's how much of a fan I was. And me and my dad used to always, when we lived in Florida, we had standing reservations at the Eddie Graham Sports Arena. I watched Dusty Rhodes, Eddie Graham, Mike Graham, all of them when they started.
Wow.
That's very cool.
To become a wrestler and then sit in the locker room with them, come on, man. It was everything to me. You know?
Did
to
you
walk to my dad's house with my dad laying on his deathbed. He only lived like a month and a half after this. And I took in the WWF title and handed it to him.
Oh,
Brother, you have
Wow.
no
That's a-
idea.
that's a beautiful story right there.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a gorgeous story. Listen, I'm going to start something based on that story, which was well thought out. It was the exact opposite of a Roy Harder story. It made sense. It was emotional. I want you. You should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. You know that?
I would love to be, but you know how that goes.
That's not a joke. That's not a joke. And I'm going to tell you why.
Got to spear some more priests.
You're let's see. Goldberg was 98, 99. So you at least had to become Gillberg by 98, I would say, right?
Yep.
So that's 25 years. Now that's 2023. How many people, because like I said to Roy, I just, 6 months ago, you were on WWE television.
Yeah.
How many people have 25 years in the WWE? It's like you and Undertaker, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah. I was there when Mark came in.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy.
I really was. I remember sitting right there going, Mark, what are you doing here, brother? He said, they got me doing some dead man gimmick. Look, we were looking at drawings they made of him and all, where he was going to be the grave digger. They had a bunch of different names for him.
You should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm going to say that right now. I'm not going to talk negatively about anyone who's in there because I too have loved wrestling since I was 4 years old. Okay. Growing up in New Jersey, been watching it on the MSG channel, been watching it on Saturday mornings, right? Listen, I grew up loving it. Okay. And there are some people there that, hey, good. I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they're in the Hall of Fame. But in terms of their impact and their longevity, you have run laps around these people. Gillberg for WWE Hall of Fame. Let's make this happen, Roy Harder.
Okay, I'm on it.
We're going to make this happen for you, Dwayne.
I love it, man. Please. That would be the highest honor of anything, man. You know what I mean?
We're doing it. Robert, come up with like a hashtag idea.
Okay.
Send it to me so I can send it out too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe tomorrow, maybe on Tuesday when I promote the show.
Gillberg.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Gillberg. What was it, Robert?
Goated Gillberg. Like
That
goated
sounds-
Hall of Fame. Like let's put him in among the greats.
Okay. No, know what I was thinking? I mean, the creativity isn't exactly, popping off the charts with this. How about hashtag Gillberg for WWE Hall of Fame? That's just something that's coming to me right now.
It's to the point.
Right to it.
All right, listen. I love you so much. Am I going to be seeing you in April at IWF?
I hope so.
Okay. I'm going to be there. And if I see you, I'm going to give you a big hug.
You got it, brother. And
I love you.
I'll give him a spear for you and then hug him.
You're a great guy. Dwayne Gill, a.k.a. Gillberg, a true wrestling legend. And we were very excited to have you on the program here tonight, my friend.
It was an honor.
It's my pleasure. I love coming on here with you guys. You guys are awesome.
Well, then this won't be the last, my friend. We will be talking to you two later. And then Robert and Roy, great to mix it up with you two sons of bitches yet again. And 2023 is going to be our year. Lots of exciting things on the horizon. And we know what those things are. But other people are going to be, I think, pretty excited, pretty thrilled for some of the developments which will occur in 2023 for the Davey Mac Sports Program.
Absolutely.
And that'll do it, guys. That's it. Now it's time to go put on Monday Night Football, Bills, Bengals.
You got it, brother.
Smoke some pot legally.
And pray for the Bills to kick the Bengals' asses.
Because that helps the Ravens.
Yes, it does.
All right. And then you know what? I'm going Josh Allen. I'm going Buffalo Bills, baby.
You got it.
You know what, Joe Burrow? I used to like you because you kind of looked like who's the comedian with the goat boy? His name's escaping me right now. Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer, yeah.
Does Joe Burrow look like Jim Brewer to anyone? Their names are even similar. Joe Burrow, Jim Brewer. They look identical. Robert, can you just pick up? Everyone knows what Jim Brewer looks like. Can you Google Joe Burrow for Roy? Because Roy's never seen the guy without his helmet on. Because I'm telling you, Joe Burrow is a spitting image of Jim Brewer. And I don't know why Joe Burrow won't do some sort of goat boy impression. Like after he scores a touchdown, he's like, ah!
He does. Says, hey, did you throw that interception? He says, nah.
Zoom in as close as you can get on the face. As close as we can get. Tell me that doesn't look like Jim Brewer.
I see it, David. You're right.
I mean, I'm the only one who thinks he looks like Jim Brewer, but I cannot see Jim Brewer when I look at Joe Burrow.
It's
same guy.
Like sunken asshole eyes he's got. I see.
Oh, damn.
Why are you shitting on Jim Brewer?
No, I'm just saying. He's got like
asshole eyes. Are they brown?
All right, I love this. Listen, Jets, fantastic. We got to get out of here. Roy Harder, thank you as always. Robert Tamburo, thank you as always. And of course, Dwayne Gillberg, thank you, brother.
Dude, thank you. It's been an honor, man. Anytime, just give me a call.
We will. And we're going to stay in touch with you. And we're going to be talking to you more in the months and months to come. I'm Davey Mac. We're back, baby. 2023. It's all about the DMSP. Enjoy it. Good night, everybody.